Okay, we are live. This is going to be a touchy subject, but I'd like to discuss it because I feel like I don't know, I just want to get it off my chest basically. I've been doing YouTube for a really long time and my YouTube is all over the place. Sometimes it's video games, sometimes it's movies, sometimes it's religion. It's whatever I feel like doing. I never did YouTube as a career. I never wanted to be a YouTuber. I've always just been like, into making art or discussing my thoughts and things like that. So, something I would like to discuss is that there have been two subjects, and I've been doing YouTube for over 10 years. You can look at my back catalog, but there's been two subjects that whenever I would discuss them, they would get taken down from YouTube or banned off of YouTube. And it's interesting because now in hindsight, the things I was discussing ended up being true, but I was like almost 10 years ahead of the curve. So I'm going to try to discuss this without it getting taken down or banned, so I might choose my words very carefully. But one of the biggest conspiracy theories that ended up being true had to do with, and I have to phrase this not what it is because they scrubbed it completely off of YouTube and off the internet. I watched a lot of YouTubers get their channels completely deleted discussing this. And it was really annoying to see because, when you were following them, they were just spitting facts and they had the receipts and it didn't matter. It would just get taken down and called a conspiracy theory. Also, the term conspiracy theory was invented by the CIA after the JFK assassination. Just saying, it was a marketing thing to call it a conspiracy theory. And it's interesting because it's just a theory and it's about a conspiracy, and they pretend like conspiracies don't exist when they've existed for millennia. So, whenever it's going to be two things, and it's sorry if I'm going around in circles, but basically there was this thing that happened that was called, and I'm going to change the name of what the conspiracy was called, but it was Italian Round Pie Gate. Okay, that came out like over 10 years ago. And what had happened was WikiLeaks, who had never ever published any false reports or false documents, WikiLeaks basically released a bunch of government emails where it was really obvious that these government employees were speaking in code. And the conspiracy was uh, this is about child abuse networking ring that's going on behind the scenes undercover, and it's everywhere. And that was what the conspiracy was about. Now, what the media did, so basically it was about these leaked government emails where they were obviously speaking in code about a child abuse ring. And by child abuse, do the math on what I'm talking about. So that was what the whole conspiracy was about, was these emails. They were obviously talking in code, and you can Google it and see the emails, and you will look at it, and it's like they are talking in code. It's not made up. They're talking in code. And the code is very frequently related to pizza or handkerchiefs, which I know sounds bizarre, but just do your own research. It's there. So then what the media did was the media changed, and when I say the media, I mean the mass media and the public narrative. The public narrative changed what the conspiracy was about. They changed it to Mrs. Clinton is running a ring in the basement of a pizza shop, and that's what it's about. And that's not what the conspiracy was ever about, but that's what the narrative became. And then this crazy guy went to that pizza shop looking for a basement that never existed, and people's lives were threatened. And so the whole thing got wiped from the internet as though this is a dangerous conspiracy theory and you're going to harm people, yada, yada, yada. So I'd made a bunch of videos on this subject years ago, and I had the receipts, I had the artwork, I had the emails, because they also collect weird artwork at the time. Artwork that was really obvious. And you can Google this. Actually, if you want to do it, just Google John Podesta's art collection, and you're going to see a bunch of paintings from artists where it's just really obvious what the art is about. Anywho, I made a bunch of videos on it, and they all got taken down. Now, my channel didn't get banned, but all the videos got scrubbed, taken down. And I watched David Seaman's channel get completely banned for life, and that was a bummer, because he was like an award-winning journalist, actually. and they labeled him a kook and dangerous and took down his channel entirely. You can't find it anymore. Completely wiped. So all my Italian Roundgate videos got taken down, and I've thought about remaking them, but it was so much work and research to formulate it that I'm just kind of questioning it now, and that's why I'm just doing a live to talk about it. Anywho, flash forward, all my videos on that subject get taken down, and the Shanghai Sniffles thing happens, and I make a video where I'm comparing the Shanghai Sniffles to the Spanish influenza that had happened a century earlier. And I was basically saying that, like, well, you know, the Spanish influenza was killing young children mostly, and this new one seems to be killing old people. So I was just trying to kind of point out the silver lining in that. And then YouTube basically took that video down and said I was spreading medical misinformation when I never discussed any medical stuff at all. I was just giving an opinion on relativity of how this new one isn't as dangerous as the last one, isn't that good. And they took me down on YouTube. They took the video down and they banned me for life. They banned this channel that's currently live for life. And I appealed it. They said no. And then 2 years later, magically, they gave me back my channel without telling me. One of my relatives was like, hey, your videos are back up. Also, I slipped into depression when they banned me for life because I had been doing YouTube for over a decade and I really liked it. And so to have all of these videos taken down and my channel completely wiped was depressing. A couple years later, they gave it back to me. And my channel's really never been the same. I've had a really hard time even wanting to produce content and make videos personally because, you know, they pulled, when I was talking about the things that mattered, they would just delete it and pull the rug out from under me, and it was really depressing. So, anywho, I get my channel back, and the Balenciaga thing happens, and Google the Balenciaga thing. But the Balenciaga thing happens, and I make a video on that, and because I was already on the Italian round pie conspiracy from years ago that had all been wiped out. And because the Balenciaga thing went mainstream, I thought I could talk about it and show the receipts. So I make a video on Balenciaga, I show the receipts. YouTube takes that video down as well. They take it down. I forget what the reason was, but they take it down as well, being like, this is misinformation. By the way, the term misinformation is not a real term. It's either information or disinformation, but misinformation is when real facts are inconvenient. And so I hate that term misinformation. It's a new term, just like conspiracy theory is a new term. Anyhow, I make a Balenciaga video that's about, you know, anyhow. Now that the Epstein thing has happened and the Diddy thing has happened, I'm now realizing that I'm like, okay, yeah, that was what the whole Italian round pie conspiracy was about back in the day. It was basically claiming that all these elite, wealthy government officials and Hollywood celebrities are involved in a child abuse ring. And now it's a fact, it's out in the open. And I'm now questioning, how is it okay that all of these channels and videos got scrubbed when they were talking about basically things that ended up being true? It's really annoying. All these things ended up being true. Yet, you know, David Seaman's channel's gone. All my videos on the subject have been scrubbed. They keep getting scrubbed. I got my YouTube channel back. Balenciaga was a real thing that was right in front of everyone. I'm talking about it, and then that video gets taken down. So it's like I've just been censored so much on YouTube. It makes me not want to. It's just annoying, you know. And I didn't realize that Aaron Carter had committed suicide. I hadn't realized that until recently. And Aaron Carter was basically trying to GoFundMe to get $100,000 because he was running for his life. And he was a victim of the child abuse. And he was trying to get money to hide and get security because he was basically saying that they're going to kill him. And then, you know, he supposedly commits suicide when he was saying that he was not suicidal, you know. And now I'm questioning a lot of celebrity suicides where I'm like, oh my goodness, it seems like a lot of celebrities that spoke up against P. Diddy or Epstein coincidentally commit suicide, even though they're not suicidal, you know. I'm now questioning a lot of celebrity suicides that didn't make sense, you know. Including Robin Williams, the guy from Linkin Park, Chris Cornell, like all of it's funny that these dudes that were making documentaries on the child abuse that was happening in Hollywood all of a sudden commit suicide and you just vanish off the face of the earth. I'm wondering if this video is going to get taken down because anytime I talked about Balenciaga or any of this stuff. It would always get taken down, like I'm spreading misinformation, and it was just really annoying. Really annoying. But now that the Epstein thing is out, the PDD thing is out, I'm like, oh my goodness, maybe we can talk about this again, because I was on this subject for 10 years ago. And, you know, the Illuminati is real. That's another conspiracy theory that ended up being real. The Illuminati were a historical, factual group of individuals that trace back to this guy named Adam Weishaupt. And so what the story goes that yes, the Illuminati existed, but they got disbanded, and they don't exist anymore. And it's like, yeah, then why are all these hand symbol weird stuff going on that you can just Google and see? You can see all of these celebrities doing weird hand signals whenever certain things get brought up, and it's just, you can see these weird rituals taking place. There's weird Illuminati rituals taking place in front of us all the time, and then that gets labeled a conspiracy theory or anti-Semitic, which is ridiculous, because I'm like, most of these people in the Illuminati are not even from that race or religion, so I don't understand why it's called anti-Semitic. It's just a way to disarm people and to be like, that person's a kook. But you can see all the weird hand signals. It's all over if you just Google it and search for it. You can see all the weird rituals that are super anti-Christian going on, it's right there in front of you. God, I wonder if that video got taken down. I made a video on, I want to say when the CERN opening ceremony happened, because that was obviously super satanic. And now I'm like, I should check my YouTube to be like, did that video get taken down? Anytime I talk about the Illuminati or child abuse happening, it gets taken down. Really weird. Really weird. But yeah, you can see all the weird hand signals. A funny anecdote. I'm from Sonoma, California. I wasn't born there, but I was raised there, and I lived there for the first 36 years of my life. And Alex Jones had done a documentary on Bohemian Grove, which is in Sonoma County. And Bohemian Grove is in Sonoma County. I love Sonoma County. I got married in Napa. Napa County is a different county. But anyway, I'm from Sonoma. And so when the Bohemian Grove thing happened, I actually knew people that had been there. And I had worked for a guy, and I remember being in his office, and he had a pamphlet to that year's Bohemian Grove, which gave a list of the people that were invited. And I remember looking through that pamphlet and debating on, because I was already into the Italian round pie conspiracy. And so when I was looking at this Bohemian Grove pamphlet of who was attending, I thought about taking photos and publishing them, and I wish I had, but I was really young at the time and scared, and I felt like it was going to come back at me if I did that. But I remember seeing that, there's a dude in my town who goes to Bohemian Grove, which makes sense because the town of Sonoma is in Sonoma County, Bohemian Grove's in Sonoma County. It makes sense that some of these rich people are networked and connected to it. I don't live in Sonoma anymore, by the way. I had to move for a job. I still live in California, but I had to move for a job. Anyhow, going back to the P. Diddy Epstein thing, it's really odd to me that the conspiracy that got wiped from the internet was saying that government officials were involved in this. And I find it very interesting that even though Epstein is now gone and Ghislaine Maxwell is now in jail forever, the client list never got released. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird that where's the Epstein client list? Where is it? Where is it? Why hasn't it been released? Why hasn't it been released? Why are they protecting these abusers? Why? And that's what the whole conspiracy was about. That is now a fact. The Italian round gate thing, Italian round pie gate thing that got scrubbed from the internet, that got all the videos taken down, that got all these people permanently banned from YouTube. It's true. It's factually true. We just watched it happen with Epstein. We're watching it happen with Diddy. And yet all of those people's videos, all of my videos on the subject with all the good receipts, hundreds of hours of research, it all ended up being true. You know how annoying it was to have my friends think that I was crazy at the time? My friends were all like, Joe, you got to drop this. And I'm like, how can you drop this? It's one of the most evil things I've ever heard of, and it's happening in front of everyone. And they're like, you got to drop this, because I was getting a little obsessive like Alex Jones. But yeah, it's true. The whole thing is true. And you know it's true because the client list has never been released. And watching the media change what the conspiracy was about was really frustrating. And watching all these journalists get taken down permanently from YouTube is really frustrating. And I wonder what's going to happen to this live video. I'm like, how are they going to justify taking this one down? Because I haven't really accused anyone of anything. But they'll figure out a way to take this one down too. Maybe they won't. I don't know. But the Balenciaga video I made like a year ago got taken down. You know, that one had receipts. Took that one down. So I'm now, I don't even know why I'm making this. I guess I'm just making this to point out that like YouTube and the mainstream media is covering for these people. They're covering for these people. And it's really frustrating. And it's factually provable that the government is covering for these people, because why hasn't the list been released? The Epstein list, the client list. Why hasn't it been released? It's been years. It's been years. And that's what the conspiracy was about, was that like members of government are involved, and you know, famous rich people are involved, you know, the fashion industry is involved, the music industry is involved, the Hollywood entertainment industry is involved. That's what the conspiracy was about. And all of these things are true. Now, flash forward 10 years, they're all true. So, yeah. When things are labeled a conspiracy theory, I'm not saying that all conspiracy theories are true, but I would just argue that like some of them are. Some of them are. That's for damn sure. Some of them are. So use your head, look at the facts. Thank goodness the mainstream media is losing all credibility. Thank goodness, because they're just spreading lies and covering for some of the most evil people on the planet. So see what YouTube does with this one. Everyone have a good day.